Good morning. It is Let's Talk Nutrition with Dr. Michael Garko. Dr. Garko is down the hall for a moment. I am the producer, Gary Gilkey, helping you out today. Today we got a good show. Shauna Wall is going to be on a show. Dominique Ostrander is our guest for the first hour. It is Tuesday, December 5th, a beautiful day here in Tampa. If you're listening to us anywhere else, we appreciate it. Don't forget, you can call in at any time on our show at 877-897-8255. That's 877-897-8255. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook at Let's Talk Nutrition, on LTN, at LTN Radio on the Twitter, and Let's Talk Nutrition on Instagram. Doc's made it back to the studio, and I think we jinxed ourselves yesterday talking about the traffic with what happened today.
Wow, what a mess. Oh my goodness!
It's
wow. Did somebody die on the Salmon?
They're saying it's a serious injury. So when they say that, that pretty means there's going to be yeah.
They diverted traffic.
If you're not familiar with Tampa Bay, Selman is the way you get from I-75
right? It's expressway,
to downtown.
Brings you right to the station, and they were so confused, the authorities, and they diverted the traffic off the Selman, and you end up in Timbuktu, and it's just a mess. I've been out on the road for an hour and a half.
A 35-minute drive, an hour and a half.
Yep. There you go. I'm glad to be here, and then oh my goodness, you just can't make it up.
No, and it was funny because we were talking about traffic and how it affects your day, and then it puts you in a mood, and then how that mood affects the rest of your day.
I'm better off than the poor soul that's...
Yeah? I mean, you'd think, right? So
it's all good. So we have Dominique Clark on today, right?
Ostrander. She married that guy.
I'm just kidding.
She married Douglas.
I'm just kidding.
It was so great to see them this past weekend, wasn't it?
Gary and I went to a trade show over the weekend in Orlando. It's called Soho. It's a small regional show, but you have major companies that attend. Jarrow Formulas was one of them, and Dominique Ostrander was there. Ostrander was there with her husband.
Boy, he's tall.
He's a big guy.
He is tall.
And his name is not Greg, it's Douglas.
Yeah.
It's all good. And I had a chance to see them and talk to some folks. And who knows, you may have a new sponsor too. We got some surprises for you coming up. Wait, it's a big one.
Yeah, I'm excited.
You just wait. We'll have breaking news. I can't announce it yet, but we're going to have a phenomenal sponsor coming on to the show. Been waiting for a long time. It's about time. It's great. And what else do we have on the menu?
And then in the second hour, we have Shauna Wall.
Miss Wall. She's been on my show for a number of years as well. Miss Ostrander, was nice to see you over the weekend with your significant other. We took photographs. Did you get them?
I did not get the photographs, actually.
Did you
send them to me?
Check your text messages, man.
No, I never got any text messages from you about it. Maybe send them again.
I'm reminded of what your mother used to say. She never answers her phone, and she doesn't answer her text messages, Miss Ostrander.
That's not true.
No, come on now.
And I met her. I met her father, Doc.
Yeah, you met Al.
What
wow.
What a good looking guy.
Yeah, nice guy.
How old is he?
He's old enough.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
There.
When they say "oh my gosh," and they trying to do the math. Did y'all have a nice trade show at Soho?
We did. You know, the show isn't what it used to be honest with you. It's a good regional show, but back in the day, it used to be wall-to-wall people. It used to be where you could not walk in the aisles, to where they had prohibited anything. You could have strollers, but you could not have any sort of rolling bag just because of the amount of people.
Really?
And yes, and as you saw this year and last year, and even the year before that, it's not anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
explain
really
to the listener
down.
and the viewer why natural products trade shows are important to them, even though they're not allowed to attend, which is crazy.
Actually, the consumer can attend, but unfortunately, it's very expensive. So if you're looking to, I believe, and don't quote me on this, but I had heard that the entry fee was $75.
Whoa!
Yeah,
per badge if you wanted to get in, and you were not affiliated with a retail.
I don't think you can get into Expo East and Expo West as a consumer. I think
you can.
Oh, really? That's
I
news,
think you can.
that's
Yes,
news to
again,
me.
but it's very expensive, and there are lots of people that will go, and I think it's just a different atmosphere. You know, California is obviously very progressive in terms of this industry, and
they should have a trade. They should have a trade show for consumers.
Yes.
Just the consumers.
Yes.
Just consumers. Mm-hmm. And of course you have supplement companies being there, exhibitors, but to allow consumers in. Would you
right, exactly.
would Jarrow Formulas go to a show like that and put a booth in?
I think so, because we do other events like that a few times a year that's strictly for consumers. Mm-hmm. With other retailers.
Why are these trade shows important to the consumer, in your opinion?
I think it gives you a chance to talk to the people that are within the company versus versus somebody on the sales floor. You're talking to somebody directly from the company, so sometimes you might get a little bit more informed answers to your questions. I think it allows you exposure to products and things that you might not see or pass by, even if you're shopping in one of the stores.
What I'm thinking is this. The trade shows, even though consumers don't attend, the trade shows are a connection to the consumer because the retailers go there and trying to learn and get the latest lowdown on whatever's trending, right?
Exactly.
So that's how the retailers, the vitamin stores, health stores, whatever you want to call them. In fact, we're showing some footage of the show. Get connected to the industry, and then the consumer connects to the retailer. So these trade shows are a way to educate and to inform and to provide product to the retailers, which then gets passed on to the consumer. I mean, this is an important kind of link. And these trade shows, I always learn something when I go, all the time. I'll learn at least one thing, if not more, in going to a trade show. So I'm a big fan. It's a way to educate, but it's a connection to the consumer via the retailer. Am I making sense? That's how I see it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And there are classes, too, that a lot of retailers will go to, sponsored by companies. So that's an opportunity for education, because honestly, you can't sell what you don't know. So I think that definitely has benefit.
Do you have any breaking news in terms of products from Jarrow Formulas for the listener and the viewer of the show?
Well, I'm going to be at Vitamin Discount Center in South Tampa on Thursday with you from 12 to 2.
Right. I'll be making an appearance in Tampa, Florida, part of town that I just was lost in, where all the tragedy was occurring this morning. At the Vitamin Discount Center on the corner of Church and Henderson. I'll be appearing there from 12 to 2. Dominique will be there. Others will be there. We'll talk a little bit about that. It should be exciting. I'm excited about attending.
I'm Joy McCarthy, holistic nutritionist, and I expect more from my multivitamin. I've researched many vitamins, and what's truly different about Every Woman's One Daily from New Chapter is that it's fermented with probiotics and whole foods and gentle even on an empty stomach. Every Woman's One Daily helps you feel good every day, giving you immune, energy, and stress support, and nutrients for bone and heart health. you will notice a difference. Every Woman's One Daily recently won the Best Multivitamin Award, and I love that it's non-GMO project verified. Discover the wisdom of nature with New Chapter.
Whether you spend your free time on a treadmill, under a car, or in your garden, if your active lifestyle leaves you sore, Body Figure's Inflammaforce may be exactly what you need. Inflammaforce has a natural herb blend that acts as an anti-inflammatory to help maintain healthy joint and mobility support. There are standardized herbs like white willow, boswellia, turmeric, ginger, and devil's claw. The vegetarian capsule promotes easy digestion and a fast-acting dissolve process. Inflammaforce includes a proprietary enzyme herbal blend full of antioxidants and flavonoids that target pain and inflammation throughout the body. Body Vigor's Inflammaforce contains ingredients that support normal, healthy joint flexibility and function, builds healthy tissue, and helps with your recovery process. So if you're tired of sore joints and inflamed muscles, Body Vigor's Inflammaforce is your answer. Purchase Inflammaforce.
Go.
Dominique Ostrander is my guest in this portion of the show, and it's always great to have her on. She's with Jarrow Formulas, has been for a long time. Dominique, I got some good feedback from the show that you were last on, where you talked about the probiotics, and you focused on women's health. I got a couple of women here in the building stopped me, and they were listening to the show.
I had Dr. Shauna stop me. She asked me about it.
Yep. So we got good feedback on it. Women, they're getting smart. they seem to get dialed into the supplements in a different way than men. Am I wrong about that?
Well, I think it depends on the topic. Women, I think, are when you say dialed in, I have more women talk to me about weight loss than men, for example, but I have more men talk to me about blood pressure and
Really?
cardiovascular health than I do women. So I guess it just depends what your issues
But
are.
you know what's interesting? Heart disease, the myth is that heart disease is a man's disease. That's not true.
Mm-hmm.
That is not true. Women suffer heart disease as much as men do. Blood pressure is a sign that something's amiss with the arteries, right?
Right, exactly.
And it's interesting. Women don't ask too much about heart health, do they?
Not typically, no.
Boy.
No, it's more. It really is, and they do say it's the silent killer with women, and our symptoms manifest differently than men, oftentimes, and it's oftentimes fatigue and tiredness, and it's not the typical pain in the left arm. It's more. It really does show up initially as exhaustion and fatigue, and then it shows up more as that. It's just a random pain sort of in the chest. It doesn't have to be what men describe as that crushing pain. Oftentimes women don't experience the crushing pain, therefore not associating it with their heart.
Yeah, the statistics for heart disease on women, I'll get those for you. It is just as much of a concern. It is not a man's disease. And when you ask women what the leading cause of death, and they typically will, when I interview them, they'll say cancer. I say, no, it's not. It's heart disease. Mm-hmm. I just wonder if the women's consciousness is raised enough about heart disease. I mean, they're very conscious of cancer. Boy, you know that from your own experience and with consumers, right, in the stores.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
But you don't hear them talk. Go ahead.
I was going to say, if we're going to talk about an illness, like it would be cancer, and then it's weight.
Well, and they need to be more educated about heart disease, is my opinion. And maybe I haven't done a good enough job on the show in emphasizing that point, that heart disease is not gender specific. When you look at the statistics, it's women are dying left and right from heart disease, just as much as men are. It's the leading cause of death in the United States and has been since the early 20s.
Absolutely.
In terms of heart health, what do you have at Jarrow? Now that we're speaking about it, what cardiovascular dietary supplements from Jarrow? Do you have a category for that, or?
My first go-to always is CoQ10, and the ubiquinol form. And I say that, so it's the reduced form, and which means that your body doesn't have to make the conversion. Although your body will make the conversion, even if you're taking ubiquinone, it just takes a little bit longer. So increasing ATP production within the cell is very important because our hearts are the most endowed with mitochondria. And so when the mitochondria becomes sluggish and less efficient and the ATP production declines within the mitochondria, the fuel that it's able to give our heart, the pumping, the ejection fraction, everything starts to decline. The overall function starts to decline. And so it's important that we supplement with CoQ10.
There's a commercial running on national TV as well as cable, right? For CoQ10.
The Qnol or whatever it is?
Yeah. The better CoQ10, they say.
Right.
It's ubiquinol.
Exactly.
It's ubiquinol.
It is?
Yeah. And so now we have commercials running in the mass market for CoQ10. And they even make the point that if you're on a statin, your CoQ10 is depleted. That kind of conversation only occurred on health talk shows. Now it's appearing in commercials on commercial TV. I think
Right,
that.
exactly.
What do you make of that? Do you think that?
It's great.
I think it's great too.
I think it's great, although I do think that, like any supplement, you get what you pay for. And I think it's important for a consumer to really do some research and reading on the companies that they're buying their CoQ10 from, because I think if you're going.
Okay, stop right there.
Okay.
Are you saying that there's not one supplier for CoQ10?
No, there is not. There is not only one supplier of CoQ10. There's one predominant one, but not only one.
And are you saying that the raw materials that are used for CoQ10 are not equal?
I am saying that.
Okay, when we come back, can I explore that with you a little bit?
Sure.
Okay. Here's how to get in touch. Here's the number.
You can reach us at 877-897-8255. That's 877-897-8255. Call now.
CoQ10. Not one all is equal, right? Okay.
The perfect complement to your beauty regimen? Try Form Essentials Zinnia. The finest of its kind, Zinnia offers twice as much biotin as other formulas, which has proven to unlock the vibrancy in even the dullest of hair, skin, and nails. Zinnia breaks through and rejuvenates cells internally, helping you achieve the allure of effortless beauty. Reviving your hair, skin, and nails has never been easier. This essential blend of biotin, alpha-lipoic, and hyaluronic acid, collagen, and vitamin C creates lasting enhancements to your natural good looks. Don't go on wondering. You're worth the results. This combination of ingredients can only be found in Zinnia. Pamper yourself with a proven bit of affordable luxury and start looking your best. Ask for Zinnia by name at your nearest vitamin retailer to begin your journey to restored nails, head-turning hair, and radiant skin today. For more information, visit formessentials.com.
When your alarm goes off, do you jump out of bed with excitement? Or does it take multiple alarms, a few snooze buttons, or a morning caffeine fix to get you going? These habits and daily stress cause a vicious cycle in which sleep becomes increasingly elusive. In fact, 54% of Americans report struggles to fall or stay asleep. For a better night's rest, look no further than Solace, an all-natural dietary supplement that supports healthy sleep and relaxation, so you get the rest you need to wake up clear-eyed, alert, and ready for the day. Solace has given thousands a better night's rest and the power to take back their mornings while enjoying the day ahead of them. Solace is formulated with non-addictive, scientifically proven, all-natural ingredients that support sleep and relaxation, such as melatonin, tryptophan, and 5-HTP. For more information or to order Solace, visit takesolace.com. Solace, for healthy sleep naturally.
Blood pressure, clinically termed hypertension, is a major independent risk factor for cardiovascular disease and stroke. It increases the risk for high blood pressure, increases the risk for heart attack, stroke, congestive heart failure, coronary artery heart disease, and it's the leading cause of death in the United States since 1921. Heart disease is the leading cause of death. And it's an equal opportunity gender offender. As a matter of fact, women are prime candidates for high blood pressure, and men and women both suffer from high blood pressure is 37.6% for men and 40.1% for women. It's even higher high blood pressure. Dominique Ostrander is my guest. Dominique, welcome back. Okay, so CoQ10 is good for cardiovascular health. You made an interesting point. You suggested that not all CoQ10 products are the same beyond ubiquinone or ubiquinol issue. You're saying that raw materials for CoQ10 are not equal. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying.
So, okay, go ahead. Tell me more. You got my attention now because I'm not so sure the consumer knows that.
Well, like, for example, there's a lot of CoQ10 supplements out there. I don't know what the raw materials are or the companies that supply the raw materials for everyone. I can only speak for Jarrow's, and we use Konica CoQ10. Konica, exactly. And so Konica is proven since 1977 they have commercially manufactured the only yeast-fermented all-natural CoQ10, which is a bioidentical product to, or what we produce in our body. And so it's the clinical studies, and it's everything from start to finish. In addition to that, Jarrow uses a pro-liposomal delivery system.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
It means that you're enhancing the active antioxidant form of CoQ10 with this delivery system. So a lot of times you might buy a CoQ10, let's say, in a mass bulk store and say, wow, I'm getting 2 bottles for however much money. This is a great deal, versus I walked into my health food store and it's double the price. But what you're also getting is an ineffective delivery system, so your body can't take it in anyway. It might be an inferior form of CoQ10 that's filled with binders and additives that are in the pill. And a lot of times, if it's not in a gel cap, you don't necessarily get the same benefit. Not to say that all tablets aren't you can't get anything out of a tablet, but there is something about putting CoQ10 in a gel cap with the pro-liposomal delivery system that aids in its bioavailability to the body.
Okay, so you said a lot there. Number one, the raw materials for CoQ10 are not equal in that is it? I'm trying to get this right because I don't want to misrepresent. Some CoQ10 supplements have binders and fillers and other elements in the capsule, if you will, right?
Right.
Okay. Konica is a raw material supplier of CoQ10 for dietary supplement companies. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. And they apparently Konica has made a reputation of a high grade CoQ10 raw material. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. And that's what Jarrow uses.
Correct.
Okay. Are there other raw materials, CoQ10 raw materials out there that are cheaper for the manufacturer, but also cheaper in their quality?
I believe there are, and they might be by companies that are sort of fly-by-night companies. They might not be a company that's been long established for 40 years like Jarrow Formulas. So it's important for a consumer to check, look at what they're buying, especially for something that they're going to be taking on a daily basis.
Okay. So as I pointed out, high blood pressure is a is a silent killer, and it is an equal opportunity health offender. Men and women suffering from high blood pressure. I gave the numbers: 37.6% for men and 40.1% for women, respectively. Age tends to interact with gender and the prevalence among high blood pressure among men and women. That is, there is a higher percentage of men than women who suffer high blood pressure up until the age of 45. And then from 45 to 54, and then from 55 to 64 years of age, the percentages associated with men and women are pretty much the same when they get around 55. So up until the age 45, and then from 45 to 54, it's about equal, or men are ahead. And then at around 55, it's the same in terms of prevalence. So as women live longer, they catch up to men in terms of their risk factor for heart disease. That makes sense?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Beyond 64 years of age, there are more women than men with high blood pressure. And my source for that statistic is Mosafarian. Mosafarian is an outstanding researcher from an article I used in writing a review of the literature on high blood pressure. From 64 years of age and on, women are ahead of men in prevalence for high blood pressure. So women should pay attention. I know you probably didn't even want to come on to talk about that today, but you brought it up, and I think it's such a I don't think I've done a good job in talking about that on the show, in my opinion. I'm being self-critical here now, but...
Well, I think there's a lot of denial, honestly. I just don't think, and plus the fact that, well, now physicians are better at not dismissing women when it comes to their pain, but probably a decade or more ago, and again, that's not that long ago, a lot of women that went to their doctor that were complaining of those kinds of symptoms were readily dismissed.
Yeah.
And told, it falls under that hysterical female category.
Yes.
And it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
She's, poor doll, she's stressed.
Yeah.
And, well, yeah.
I'm having chest pains.
Are clogged. Exactly.
Yeah, your arteries are clogged.
Exactly.
High blood pressure is a serious cardiovascular health issue. It is termed the silent killer because it develops frequently out of the awareness and without advance warning. Also disturbing is that, according to the American Heart Association, the cause of 90 to 95% of high blood pressure cases is not known. Not known. Making matters worse, it is predicted that by 2030, approximately 41.4% of adults in America will suffer from it. We'll be back.
Whether you spend your free time on a treadmill, under a car, or in your garden, if your active lifestyle leaves you sore, Body Figures Inflammaforce may be exactly what you need. Inflammaforce has a natural herb blend that acts as an anti-inflammatory to help maintain healthy joint and mobility support. There are standardized herbs like white willow, boswellia, turmeric, ginger, and devil's claw. The vegetarian capsule promotes easy digestion and a fast-acting dissolve process. Inflammaforce includes a proprietary enzyme herbal blend full of antioxidants and flavonoids that target pain and inflammation throughout the body. Body Vigor's Inflammaforce contains ingredients that support normal, healthy joint flexibility and function, builds healthy tissue, and helps with your recovery process. So if you're tired of sore joints and inflamed muscles, Body Vigor's Inflammaforce is your answer. Purchase Inflammaforce exclusively on Amazon.com.
Dominique Ostrander is my guest today, talking about cardiovascular health and women and men for that matter. I'm just trying to make the point that it is an equal opportunity gender offender. And it's preventable. Cardiovascular disease is preventable. High blood pressure is preventable. Most of heart disease is accounted for by diet and lifestyle. There are hereditary factors involved, no doubt, but coronary heart disease is primarily a diet and lifestyle disease. Do you disagree with that, Dominique?
Primarily lifestyle. So genetics don't play a part?
I didn't say that. I said genetics.
Okay.
I said genetics.
Oh, they do. Oh, okay.
Genetics do play a part,
Yeah.
but most of the variants for coronary heart disease generally and high blood pressure specifically is accounted for by diet and lifestyle. There are genetic variables involved here for high blood pressure and heart disease. For example, you may be born with the propensity to make more cholesterol than you have sense. People walk around the earth with that genetic inheritance, and they get heart disease, and they die sooner rather than later than most people. That's a genetic factor. And
I totally agree with you. I agree that just because you're born with this doesn't necessarily mean that you then have to have it.
right,
I think that you could. Yes, I do believe that there are absolute choices that we can make that would help hinder developing what our DNA says.
blood pressure technically is the force of circulating blood pushing against the walls of the arteries each time the heart contracts and pumps blood throughout the artery. When it does that, it starts to score the lining of the artery. Creates like little streaks, not streaks, but it damages it ever so slightly. And over decades, literally, you end up with the body trying to repair that damage using cholesterol and whatever, and you end up with heart disease. Blood pressure damages the arteries, and in the body's attempt to repair it, it makes matters worse. And so one day, for many people, the first sign and symptom of heart disease is a heart attack that kills you. So, you remember he wrote the book where he talks about heart health, and he mentions CoQ10, ribose.
Yeah, Dr. Sinatra.
Dr. Sinatra. He was been on my show. What does he call the foursome? What or something?
Right. Yeah, it's the awesome foursome.
What are those? Do you remember those?
Oh, yes, definitely. CoQ10, ribose, magnesium, and carnitine.
Okay. Ribose. Ribose is a sugar. It's for energy, but it's also good for heart health. Yes. Yes. Okay.
Well, again, it's part of the increasing ATP production in the cell. So, ATP, the production from CoQ10 and ribose have a great relationship.
And he likes magnesium. And what was the other compound that he likes?
Carnitine.
Carnitine. And he thinks that those four together contribute a great deal to heart health.
Exactly.
The awesome foursome. I use your ribose. In fact, I asked you for some when I saw you on
at the show.
Yeah, and you told me you didn't have any. I said, "What good are you?" How come you never hit me? Of course, I joke with you. I've only known you for 25 years, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah. I love the ribose. I use ribose all the time. Magnesium. How does magnesium contribute to heart health?
There's a lot of people that are deficient, actually, in magnesium. It seems to be almost epidemic now that there's magnesium deficiencies. Perhaps it's diet, the way we're absorbing our or nutrients or the lack thereof.
Mm-hmm.
But magnesium is an essential mineral involved in more than 300 chemical reactions in the body. It supports nerve, muscle, and cardiovascular health. A lot of it has to do with relaxing smooth muscle tissue, but it's a magnesium-potassium relationship, so it maintains the activities of the nerves and the energy metabolism of the muscles, hence our heart being a very important muscle.
And so, in other words, magnesium is necessary for maintaining a steady heartbeat and normal blood pressure. That's why people that have high blood pressure will take magnesium. So it plays, it's helpful for a healthy heart rhythm, as you were suggesting. And carnitine, L-carnitine or acetyl-L-carnitine?
No, acetyl-L-carnitine
is for the brain.
Primarily for brain health, exactly. So there's a few different forms of carnitine, and actually Dr. Sinatra had talked about a few. So there's carnitine tartrate, carnitine fumarate, and your favorite, GPLC, the glycine propional L-carnitine.
GPLC,
so
right.
Right, exactly. And so carnitines basically act like an escort for free fatty acids, which are nothing more than fat circulating in our bloodstream. So when you go to your doctor and he measures your triglycerides, that's what he's measuring. He's measuring the fat that's circulating in your bloodstream. And carnitine is really good at getting those fatty acids into our mitochondria where they're burned for energy. And it actually helps hang out and escort the waste product out of the cells so that, let's say, for example, if you're working out, you reduce soreness. So carnitine has a function in helping us utilize fatty acids for energy, which is difficult if you're not a fit person.
Mm-hmm.
And most people with cardiovascular disease are not fit.
In a review of the literature of 13 controlled trials involving 3,629 people, the Mayo Clinic concluded, quote, L-carnitine has multiple cardiovascular benefits for heart attack sufferers, close quote. But you can also use it preventatively. We need to, I think in terms of the education effort on the show, we should address this issue even more going forward, Dominique. I don't think I've talked about it enough lately. This whole issue of heart health, high blood pressure. I wrote a 10-part series on this topic. Coronary heart disease, I wrote a 10-part series. We should talk about it.
We can definitely talk about it more on the air. February is Heart Health Month.
I'll see you on Thursday at the Vitamin Discount Center store in South Tampa, Dominique. Dominique will be there. I'll be appearing between 12 and 2. Please stop by. I'd love to meet you. Bring your health questions. Bring your kids. Bring anybody you want. We're going to have a great time. Dominique will be there. She has all kinds of things to give away. And we'll have other surprises and guests as well. I'll see you later. I'll be back for the second hour in a moment. That voice you heard was Gary Gilkey. He's one of my producers. Steven's on the other side of the glass. And it's great to be with you. Almost didn't make it here today because of the terrible accident, apparently, on one of the expressways here in the Tampa Bay area. Got in my vehicle at 7 o'clock, and I walked into the studio at 9.
A 35-minute trip turned into 2 hours.
2 hours. It was a mess. Talk about stress. Trying to stay calm and all that. Stephen will tell you, I've done the show from my cell phone, right, Stephen? He's shaking his head. And that has happened in the past over the years. It's, it doesn't happen very often, but we're delighted to be here with you. I'm so glad that you could tune in. Shauna Wall's my guest in this portion of the show. She's an educator for New Chapter. Shauna is just a wonderful person. Early in my career, I always looked at people's credentials first. Now, that's the last thing I look at. I try to find out, I tell Gary, let's find out who this person is, X, Y, or Z, let's vet them. And what I'm looking for, is this a good person? That's now where I start. And then I finally get to their credentials. Because what I've learned over the years, that the audience resonates mostly with people who are sincere, tell the truth as they know it, and convey that they care about them. Those are 3 things I kept in mind from the very first day I stepped into this studio until this very moment. That is true. And the guests that sort of adopt those same principles seem to do better with the audience. I have guests who are brilliant, and have had guests who are brilliant. Forgot more than most experts will know, but just can't connect. Can't connect with the listener or the viewer. And then at the end of the day, no matter how much you may know, if you can't inspire people, not just inform them, but inspire them and persuade them and convince them that there are better alternatives, and for them to take some action on that, what good is all that knowledge? It may make you feel better, but it doesn't translate into a better outcome for others. And one of the things I've learned, there's always a faster gun in town. There's always somebody who's going to know more than you, and who may be a little bit smarter. I remember what I used to say to my students, and I've taught thousands of them. And I have some very smart ones. They were geniuses. I would say to them, many of you are smarter than I am, but none of you will outwork me. So buckle up. If you want to learn something, you're in the right class. If you're looking for an easy ride, it's not here. You will not work harder than I will. I'll be up before you, and I'll go to bed later than you. I'll be working, no matter how smart you are. And that, to me, has worked out okay. Shauna happens to be one of those people who's just a good person to start with, and then happens to know what she's talking about. So we get a great benefit. So you've been with the show now a little over a year, Gary.
Yes. And
you notice we've had a lot of guests. You've seen a lot of different guests come. You can't mention any names now.
No. Okay.
And you see the difference.
Yes.
Right? You can tell the difference.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see how I have to work with different guests to get the best out of the guest.
We've had guests on here that I think were in the middle of doing laundry or something that were just totally distracted and not paying attention.
Yeah, mailing it in, as they say.
Yeah.
Just mailing it in. Shauna doesn't do that. Shauna, welcome back to Let's Talk Nutrition. It's great to have you on.
Well, thank you, Dr. Garko, and thank you for all those kind words. What a great way to, round out my morning today.
Yeah, it's always easy to tell the truth.
It is.
You never have to worry about backing up and say, "What did I say? What did I say?"
Exactly.
How are your children?
They're good. My daughter's off in college now, but we're excited to have her home for a bit over the holidays. She's
Wonderful.
A typical Christmas baby. She gets so excited. So we're actually, my son and I, who's 14, we're going to completely decorate her bedroom in
how
naughty
nice
Christmas
Is he-
tinsel
is he a
and
good-
Santas and
is he a-
everything to surprise her when she gets home.
Is he a good boy?
He's a good kid. Yeah, he
Is
really
he?
is. I'm really blessed because both of my kids never really stopped talking to me. You know how some teenagers
Oh,
go
how
through
nice.
those phases, and it's not like they don't get moody, but I'm really blessed that we continue to talk, which
Wonderful.
is the communication for any relationship. There's the connection is so important.
It's all about the relationship, always. Any breaking news from New Chapter?
Oh, geez. What's going on at the New Chapter? Here's the thing. There's really exciting news, but I can't always give it away because it's like telling you what's under the Christmas tree, right? We do have some new products coming down the pipeline.
Oh, good.
That you'll get wind of them around Expo West time.
Can you do me a favor? I know you didn't come on to talk about it. Do you know much about black seed?
I'm learning more and more. That's been my ripe education for the past year or so. The black seed.
Is there something you could
incredible.
share? It certainly has my curiosity piqued. Up until about a year ago, I was relatively ignorant about black seed. What could you share that might help illuminate this a little bit and shed some light on it so we can know a little more?
Sure. No, absolutely. So, I too hadn't heard much about black seed until a couple of years ago, and it first entered New Chapter's formulary, surprisingly enough, with our postnatal multivitamin for breastfeeding and nursing moms. There was tremendous research coming out about how black seed was really nourishing for that population and could improve milk production and reduce inflammation and lighten mood, all of this information. So we're really excited about that and dove into looking at the ingredient a little more. So similar to how turmeric is kind of that staple herb of Asia, and has become that miracle spice for millions of people around the world. Black seed is to the Middle East what turmeric is to Asia, if that makes any sense. It's literally that prized spice that also has tremendous healing benefits. I mean, it was written about in, I believe, the Quran. Muhammad said, black seed will cure everything but death. Right now, that seems
the Prophet Muhammad is reportedly to have said that the sometimes called black cumin seeds could cure, quote, anything but death itself, close quote.
And research is proving that could be very true.
Mm-hmm. And you have that now in a product, don't you?
Yeah, the two products, both gold and black seed, which is a combo.
We're going to head into some messages when we come back, and then we can get to what you came on. I just wanted to sort of highlight that a little bit. I've been doing some reading and some research on black cumin. Seems to be that pretty powerful compound. We'll come back. We'll talk more with Shauna while you're listening to Let's Talk Nutrition, coast to coast and globally.
Almost 52% of men experience erectile dysfunction and benign prostatic hyperplasia. If you've had challenges with virility, sexual health, or low energy, Body Vigor's Alpha Extension may be the answer for you. Body Vigor's Alpha Extension can help revitalize your alpha male and extend your love. Our formula is one of the highest quality nutraceuticals available, formulated to support the processes involved in promoting a healthy male sex drive, energy, and stamina. Alpha Extension has two powerful herbal blends, Virilla Max, which focuses on male sexual health, and T-Pump Activator, which helps balance your testosterone levels. Revitalize your alpha male with Body Vigor's Alpha Extension, exclusively available on Amazon.com.
talking about black cumin, some kind of black seed. It comes in an oil. I've seen it, black seed oil, and then it's in powder. Does it make a difference, the delivery system?
It does. You know, traditionally, black seed was consumed as a food spice, right? So you can imagine these little black seeds about the size of a sesame seed and being ground up in a mortar and pestle and added to food or you know, applied in a poultice that way. So that would be your whole food approach to taking the product. And then traditionally, well, not traditionally, more modernly, you see a lot of it just being delivered in oils.
What do you think about that?
I think you're getting half of the plant, honestly.
With the oils? With the oils?
Yeah, I mean you're getting the active portion that's oil soluble, but you're not getting all the polar compounds, which have tremendous benefit to be had. So, you know, the way New Chapter does with all of the herbs that have benefit in both sides of the spectrum is we do a dual extraction. So we're delivering the oil, we're delivering the water-soluble compounds as well through a different form of extraction. So you're getting the entire plant as nature intended.
So the fat-soluble compounds through one form of extraction, and then the water-soluble compounds through a different extraction method.
You got it.
Okay.
So you're getting the whole plant, the whole food form, but in that concentrated serving that you're looking for, and also in a convenient form, which, you know, nowadays really is a capsule. New Chapter has also taken it one step further and combined the black seed with turmeric, because there's been research done in live, you know, human clinical trials showing that black seed and turmeric taken together, oh my God! I mean, I'll send you the study if you want to take a look at it. I mean, all parameters of metabolic syndrome.
Would that be like bacon and eggs? No.
Yeah, kind of like that. But in the health food
no.
spectrum. Peanut butter and jelly.
No.
Oh, good one.
Yeah,
good
I know.
Put me on my toes.
Yeah. So what's the name of the product now that's on the market with the combination of cumin, curcumin, and black seed?
That would be golden black seed, which, you know, is not a particular type of species. The golden is referring to the turmeric.
Turmeric.
In the
Okay.
product.
All right. You indulged me. Thank you very much.
No problem. No problem.
Did you come on to talk about bacon and eggs today? No.
I mean, talk about whatever you want.
No. Yeah, I know you had something. You always have something on your mind. I didn't want to steer you off your point, but I thought the audience would appreciate a little reinforcement. Paul Schulich was on, and he's been talking about it, and I wanted you to, if you could, follow up and reinforce it a little bit more, both with me and the audience. So thank you for doing that.
Absolutely. And, you know, our listeners, if they haven't heard already, they're going to hear more and more about black seed, as it's really skyrocketing into people's kitchens the more we learn about it. So, you know, and it honestly does tie in a bit with the topic that I did want to talk about, which, I don't know, I feel like it's early December and holidays are upon us, and even though they are a very joyful time of the year, they can also be a very stressful time of the year. And so I just thought we'd talk a little bit about a couple, you know, easy things that people can do to maintain their energy, their blood sugar, and their stress levels.
Okay. Go ahead.
As the world kind of picks up speed. And so the first thing I wanted to discuss is maca. Do you take maca? Are you familiar with it?
Yeah, I typically use maca for energy purposes.
Totally. And I think that's what a lot of people relate it to. The great thing about maca, though, is, in my opinion, is its adaptogenic qualities. That meaning that, you know, it can provide a homeostasis to your system, really help to balance and nourish the adrenal glands if they've become fatigued from too much stress over a prolonged period of time. And a little, you know, life hack that I have become familiar with recently is, you know, really kind of trading out some of for us coffee drinkers of the world, you know, starting the day with a little macchiato in place of maybe your coffee, or at least one of those coffees, can really still provide you with the same energy, but without the crash, and then also, you know, nourishing your body through the fact that it contains a lot of different proteins and vitamins and minerals, and has such a profound effect on the stress response.
And New Chapter's maca product is called, and is it what's the delivery system, and how do you take it?
So New Chapter right now has 2 different maca products. We've always been a fan of maca and sprinkle it in our multivitamins, honestly, because, Paul Schulich has always kind of used the multis as a Trojan horse to get helpful herbs into people's diets. But we've been really blessed to have a good launch with our fermented herbal powders. And one of those is a fermented maca powder. So we've taken the maca root and put it through New Chapter's dual-stage fermentation process, which makes it more active and more easy to digest and assimilate, and then you get all the benefits of fermented food plus your maca. Also, the powdered form makes it really convenient because people can plop it in their smoothie. You can, oh, there's my puppy. Razzie. Yeah, from the smoothie to the macchiato that I mentioned. I know some of my New Chapter coworkers like to stir the maca into their coffee, even.
Their coffee.
So
okay.
It really makes it versatile. And then along with that, we've actually tableted the fermented powder as well. New Chapter really does believe in the power of fermentation, and, as Americans, not enough people are getting fermented food in their daily diets, but now we have a way to easily get that in with the added benefits of
So going shopping, doing holiday shopping, then get a hit of maca, and then hit the department stores. We'll be right back.
Are you waking up?
Whether you spend your free time on a treadmill, under a car, or in your garden, if your active lifestyle leaves you sore, Body Vigor's Inflammaforce may be exactly what you need. Inflammaforce has a natural herb blend that acts as an anti-inflammatory to help maintain healthy joint and mobility support. There are standardized herbs like white willow, boswellia, turmeric, ginger, and devil's claw. The vegetarian capsule promotes easy digestion and a fast-acting dissolve process. Inflammaforce includes a proprietary enzyme herbal blend full of antioxidants and flavonoids that target pain and inflammation throughout the body. Body Vigor's Inflammaforce contains ingredients that support normal, healthy joint flexibility and function, builds healthy tissue, and helps with your recovery process. So if you're tired of sore joints and inflamed muscles, Body Vigor's Inflammaforce is your answer. Purchase Inflammaforce exclusively on Amazon.com.
Shauna Wall from New Chapter is my guest today. She's talking about this holiday season and how you might be better off, better prepared, better able to cope with this time of year. It's a wonderful time. But as I've been mentioning over the past several days, past couple of weeks, talking about the holidays, it is stressful. She mentioned it also. And you need energy, and you need focus, and you need to stay together and get the things done that you need to do. Cooking, traveling, baking, dealing with relatives, and whatnot. She mentioned maca. Maca is a wonderful energy source. And New Chapter has nice products with maca. She mentioned them. We'll get her to repeat that. And she has some other things on her mind that might help you during these holidays. Shauna, welcome back. Could you repeat the name of the product with the maca in it?
Sure can. So it's simply fermented maca by New Chapter, and it's available in powder form and in tablets. Depends on, what delivery system you prefer.
Okay. Next one you wanted to talk about for... Go ahead.
Yeah. So, I was listening to you when we came back from the break, and I was just wondering, why are holidays so stressful? It's you see these Christmas specials, and it's family together, and everyone's happy. So I don't know. Isn't it odd that it's become this stressful, somewhat challenging time of year for people? I don't know. We don't have to go too deep into it, but I was just kind of pontificating on that. Gosh, why do we do it if it's so stressful? I don't know. I guess that's part of maybe some obligations or expectations, family-wise or society-wise, or et cetera. But anyway, there are ways to kind of make it more enjoyable, which is the whole point in the first place, right?
So I know you have a couple of products that are related to stress.
Well, beyond the maca, right? So the reason why I wanted to talk about these two products in particular is, one, the maca is going to be kind of deeply nourishing for the entire physiological system, right? Build up the muscle of your stress response, if you will, and it's going to give you that energy to face the day, without the crash of caffeine. I'm not talking about that type of energy. I'm talking about true, fortification of energy. Secondly, I feel like anyone who experiences any type of emotional stress really needs to have a holy basil, which is New Chapter's Holy Basil Force, in their kitchen cupboard. Some people swear by it and take it daily. Some people take it on an as-needed basis. But Holy Basil is wonderful for kind of dropping those cortisol levels. If you're a type of person that experiences stress as kind of anxiousness and a racing mind, things are moving too quickly, Holy Basil can really kind of drop it down a notch. And so if you're one of those individuals who experiences stress that way, then Holy Basil is going to be your best friend.
Mm-hmm. And that's simply the name of the product? It's a freestanding product from New Chapter?
Yep, Holy Basil Force. And again, what's different about New Chapter's herbs is that we do the dual extraction, right? A lot of companies are going to give you one or the other, right? You can get the Holy Basil oil, which is less popular, or the dried plant or the tincture. It's important to remember, although tinctures are great, once again, they're generally only giving you one part of the plant because it's an alcohol extraction only. So though you're getting those active polar compounds, you're missing out on the rest of the benefits. And in a plant like Holy Basil, some of those active constituents that really help to drop your stress level are in the oil-soluble portion. So New Chapter is offering you the dual extracts. You're getting the whole plant in a very convenient vegetarian capsule form. And, we just suggest one a day. And you can take it at any time. I would say if you're doing maca in the morning for a little bit of uplift, wherever your high stress time of day is. A lot of people find that it's kind of mid-afternoon, right? That's where you reach for your second cup of coffee or want a nap. And if we can't always indulge in either. And so it may seem counterintuitive to then reach toward an herbal product that's going to calm your nerves, but what I find is that, taking it in the afternoon really helps me to focus, because when you are less stressed and less anxious, you can focus better and you actually have more energy.
You wouldn't take maca before going to bed, though.
I wouldn't. I'm a little bit sensitive in that way. I do have friends that work out after work, and they'll take their maca before they do that without a problem. But I would say, figure out what the best time of day for you. I think doing it in the morning is going to give you more sustained energy throughout the day, yeah.
Do you have a product that's related to stress? Stress take care or something or other?
No, we used to, and unfortunately it was discontinued. It was one of my favorite products, yeah. The thing about New Chapter is we're a company very much based on quality sourcing of ingredients, and there was about 9 different herbs in that formula, and we could no longer find a great sustainable supply chain for a couple of them. And so instead of bringing to market a subpar product, we retired it altogether. And, I've been talking to Paul about the need to maybe, explore that avenue a bit more, because it really was one of my favorite products. But, maca was an ingredient in that formula, as was Shizandra, which is also in New Chapter's maca formula now. And so you are going to get some of those benefits.
Okay. So we got the maca, and then you mentioned the other product. And where else do you want to go?
Well, let's go back to black seed for a moment. I feel like because it was on the top of your mind, maybe it's calling for some attention today. Being an herb that can cure everything but death, you kind of have to pinpoint what you what's your intention for taking it. But when it comes to the topic we're talking about, which is stress, that's one of its many benefits beyond, what it can do for pain and heart health and liver support and all of that. Some of the research conducted on black seed, or Nigella sativa, does have to do with its ability to decrease anxiety, improve the mood, and improve focus and attention in people. And I can speak first hand to that. New Chapter also has a fermented black seed powder, and I have come to put it in my smoothies in the morning. Now that it's getting cooler up here in Vermont, I'm not smoothieing as much, and I really notice a difference, Dr. Garko, like pretty much from the beginning. It's not even something that needs to build up over time too much. It's like when I have the black seed in the morning, I feel more focused. I feel like there's a cloud that's parted, and you can see a little bit more crisply.
Yeah. Well, Moses parted the waters, we'll part the clouds.
There you go.
877-897-8255. Coming up, I'll have the LTN health question of the day. If you have the right answer, we'll give you a ride in Gary's car. No, we won't. His car scares people on the street.
Are your joints feeling out of date and stiff? Is that old sports injury flaring up? Is your body aching from the daily wear and tear at work? Body Vigor's Joint Ready keeps you at the ready for any joint pain that gets out of line. Unfortunately, as we age, joint pain becomes more common. Body Vigor's Joint Ready can help provide relief so you can continue to go about your day. Our formula contains sulfated forms of glucosamine and chondroitin. Studies show that these sulfated forms are more effective than regular glucosamine bound to hydrochloride. Joint Ready promotes a healthy inflammatory response, facilitates cartilage synthesis, and provides additional antioxidants. Keep your joints at the ready with Body Vigor's Joint Ready, exclusively on Amazon.com.
Here's the LTN health question of the day. Talking with Shauna Wall today, and she was giving some recommendations for the holiday season and some dietary supplements from New Chapter that you might want to consider taking. And one of the first ones that she talked about was maca. Here's the question. Is it best to take maca earlier in the day or at bedtime? When's the best time to take the maca? Earlier in the day or before, later, much later in the day, in the evening, before bedtime? You have the right answer. You win a $25 supplement gift card. Here's the number to call to win.
You can reach us at 877-897-8255. That's 877-897-8255.
Excellent. Shauna, welcome back. So we got the maca. Go ahead and list the products you mentioned so far. Maca.
Yeah, we have the fermented maca powder.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the fermented maca tablets.
Okay.
And then we've got the holy basil force.
Okay.
And I guess if we are naming all our products, we also spoke of golden black seed, which is that combination of turmeric and black seed.
Okay, so that's 3. And newchapter.com would be the website.
It sure would. Yeah, absolutely. And we also have a toll-free number for anyone who wants to call in and chat with one of our product specialists if they have additional questions about the product or, any questions, concerns, how much to take,
Sure.
when to take, etc.
What's the number?
Call our 800 number. That is 1-800-543-7279.
1-800-543-7279.
Yeah, and I encourage people to pick up the phone. I think we get so stuck behind our computers nowadays. Sometimes it can be really nice to just take advantage of the expertise that's available to you when you listen to a great show like this and have access to so many great companies who are really trying to improve your health in the world. I say take advantage of it. Make a change this year, right?
The home office is up there in Brattleboro, right?
It is. It's been very unseasonably warm up here in Vermont so far. I mean, right now it's still like in the high 40s out there. No snow yet, although I hear the mountains are getting busy making snow for people. I haven't had any.
Yeah. It's called climate change.
Yeah.
So in terms of a multiple, I think that's always a good choice, an all-purpose selection to keep nutritional status optimal and, to fill in gaps and holes when people are on the run, not eating right during the holidays too. Could you mention some of the multiples, please?
Yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up. I think I sometimes take for granted thinking that most people may be on a multivitamin already as just a foundation to the supplement regimen, but I understand that may not be the case. And, it really is important, even for those of us who, eat really well on a day-to-day basis. The fact of the matter is that our food is not as nutrient-dense as it was even a couple of years ago, and then we are exposed to more oxidative stress and pollution than we were even decades ago. So a really good whole food multivitamin has become essential to ensure that you're getting the micronutrients that you need for your body to respond in a healthy way. So New Chapter is very unique in that we are the only company that is doing a dual fermentation of the vitamins and minerals. So taking the isolated forms of the nutrients and dually fermenting them so that you're actually getting a whole food form of the nutrient that you can take on an empty stomach, and it's not going to upset you.
Do you have it is it gender? You have ones that are gender specific?
Yeah, pretty much multi for everyone. We've got our Every Man and Every Woman line, and they go from a 1 daily all the way up to a 3 a day for those over 40. And then we have also our latest and greatest multivitamin, which is the 55 plus. That includes a daily dose of astaxanthin in every serving. So it's a really great way to lay your foundation every day, and I would truly encourage anyone to be on multi.
So what happens if you're a one-man or a one-woman person?
What do you mean?
You said every man, every. No, I'm a one man or a one woman person, right? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, every man too.
You get it? You get it? Okay. Gotta pay attention. Gotta pay attention to my stupid jokes.
You do jokes. You're keeping me on my toes today, that's for sure.
What do you mean my jokes are stupid? What do you say? Let's go to Sandra in Tampa. Sandra, happy holidays, and I'm glad you could call in today.
Happy holidays to everyone. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're doing better, Dr. Garko. I've been praying for you a lot. So
You have?
Oh, of course. I do that for everybody, no matter if you're good to me or bad to me.
Oh, that's pretty nice of you to do that. So what do you say to the Almighty?
Well, I want him, I thank every day that we're taking another breath. I'm a deeply spiritual, so I care about everybody and even my pets.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah,
we need more. We need more people like you then on the earth.
Well, I know they're out there. Believe me, I see them every day.
One of the things I've learned about people over this past 14 months, as I fought for my life, was this. One of the lessons is that most of the time, most people are mostly good.
Oh, I agree.
Mm-hmm. Now, we all have our moments, me included. But most of the time, most people are mostly good. What's the answer for today's question? When's the best time to take maca? Earlier in the day or much later in the day? Like when
you got to take it early.
Otherwise, you'll be up all night praying.
Yeah.
You'll be praying to go to sleep.
Exactly.
Well, thank you for your prayers. And thank you for being so optimistic and caring about others. We're all in it together. And I wish you the happiest and healthiest of holidays for you and your family and friends. Thank you again.
You as well, and your guests, and everybody there in the studio.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Oh.
And we appreciate you, Shauna. And thank you for coming on and educating us about these products from New Chapter and their contribution to our health, wellness, and well-being. Visit newchapter.com. A lot of information there. Get dialed into this company. They're one of the best supplement companies on the planet. Shauna, take care of yourself. If I don't talk to you before the onset of all the Christmas, Hanukkah, and Kwanzaa, and whatever holiday you celebrate, I want to extend the happiest and healthiest holidays from me, Gary, and Stephen to you and your family. Thank you very much. Shauna.
Thank you.
Okay. You take care of yourself. I'll catch you next time. See you tomorrow. Your health is your wealth, and I love you.